Hi, fans. I'm the PC Expert Amateur, and we're going to take a look at the E-Yooso Eastern Times Technology Company Limited E-757 wireless radio frequency split wave membrane keyboard with magnetic wrist rest and mouse combo. Ooh, let me just turn this like this. You don't need to see the rest of my messy apartment. Got too many things to review, and I just started a job a couple weeks ago, and that has thrown me off my rhythm completely. I mean, like totally. So let's see here. Now let's start with the wrist rest, and I just want to demonstrate to you. So it's magnetic, but not very magnetic. Modestly magnetic, which means it's probably going to separate while you're using it, which is really disappointing. It's just a shell, very lightweight, if that's a plus for you. It's got, this whole thing has got a 1-year warranty, so there is that. And we have the mouse, which, as with most combos, is more of an afterthought. Although they did put a little bit of effort into this one. It does have this molding here for your two small fingers. It is really designed for a small hand. As you can see, it comes up to about here. It's good for a large hand, or medium hand, I mean. And on the bottom, you've got the battery compartment, which requires one AA battery, and that's where the dongle also is. Not rocket science. Oftentimes, if you have a combo, you will find the dongle in the mouse, although some brands will mix together two completely different products, and they will not have separate dongles, which is stupid. It does have a DPI button for the 4 DPI settings. I think the maximum is 4,800, if I remember correctly. There is a silicone ring on the transparent wheel. And the wheel itself is surprisingly quiet. Whereas the keys are not. Those were the left and right, and here's the DPI. And forward and backwards. Now on the thumb side, there's a bunch of holes or dots embedded in it for a little bit more grip, and it does kind of keep your finger, or your thumb rather, in there. I didn't really have any problems with it, although it is, I mean, aside from the fact that it's a little bit too small, but it was serviceable. It did what it needed to do. And like I said, like so many other combos, it's more of an afterthought than a deliberate pairing of not equivalent, but equal quality functionality devices. Now, the keyboard is a membrane keyboard. It is also split, as you can well see, and it's got a wave to it as well, which you can now see. This helps to have your well, how shall I say this? That design. See, if you notice, if you hold your hands up like this, thinking about this is where the keyboard will be, your arms aren't like this, which feels very unnatural if you just try doing that right now. So your arms naturally want to be like this. If you do it like this, you can feel tension. But if you do it like this, it feels normal. And this kind of, not fully, but kind of embraces the idea that the elbows should not be the same distance from each other as the wrists are. Now, with this kind of a design, it takes some of that pressure off. It also reduces the risk of you bending at the wrists, which is bad over time for your wrists. I've been using keyboards since, gosh, what grade was that? It was maybe 8th grade, 9th grade, somewhere around there. I learned how to keyboard, or rather use a typewriter, because back then we had electric typewriters. And I learned then how to do it. And I went from By the end of the class, I was at 30 words per minute. I used bulletin board systems after that, and I got up to 70 words per minute. I don't think I'm quite that fast anymore, but we do have 4 dedicated buttons at the top: a home button, an email button, this PC button, and a calculator button. Hooray for those of us who need calculators. And most of the special functions are evident on here. Instead of putting the LEDs up here, they put them between the 2 sides of the space bar. Now, keep in mind, if you're going to customize this keyboard, number one, you're going to have to open it up, and you're going to have to get the right kind of keycaps in order to do the keycaps are removable. It's just you have to take apart the whole thing, and you have to find keycaps that will fit inside here and fit the posts that are inside, underneath, I should say. One of the benefits of the membrane is the membrane catches all the gunk that falls down in there: dead skin cells, hair, food, your beverages that you keep on spilling in there, your snot, whatever. And then the indicators for the caps lock, the numeric lock, and the low battery are right there. The keys on this are surprisingly quiet. Well, not really surprisingly, but I guess the reason I say surprisingly is because I've had keyboards that were membrane keyboards that were still noisy because the design was poor. But this is, as is typical of E-Yooso, good quality. And the noisiest, of course, will be the space bar, but still very quiet compared to a lot of other keyboards. So if you're looking for a quiet keyboard, not the mouse, obviously, this is a good choice. The power button is right there, and it does have double legs on it. So you can have a lower height, a medium height, and a high height. There are rubber feet on the legs, as well as 5 of them on the body itself. And you'll need 2 AAA batteries for here. I highly recommend, as always, that you get rechargeable, because the cost of disposable batteries has gone up so much that they don't last particularly long, depending on what you're using them on. So there really is no intelligent reason for continuing to use them. Just if you can't buy the rechargeables right away, at least save up some money, get yourself some rechargeables with a cheap charger, and then when you can afford it, get a really good charger that has the refresh function on it. Now, in terms of using the keyboard and the mouse, like I said, the mouse is serviceable, but it's too small for me. The keyboard, initially, I had just gone on a spree of reviewing several mechanical keyboards. So when I went to this, it was just kind of weird. But once my brain got over that, that adjustment to the depth of the strikes and the sound and the feel and everything like that, because it definitely feels different than a mechanical keyboard, it was absolutely fine. There was no problems. The problems were up here, not in the keyboard itself. So I think the big thing that I just don't like is, once again, along with some other brands, they've used a really cheap wrist rest that doesn't have any padding on it either. Now, it does flex somewhat because it's an empty shell, but still, they could at least have put in decent magnets. Now, you could. Now, I'm not sure if the magnets are in here or if they are in there. So let me see. They are in here. The right one's right there. The other one's right there. I almost didn't catch that one. Yeah, so there are 2 magnets. So what I would recommend is that you replace those magnets with stronger magnets if you're going to use this. I have been, for the longest time now, I've used this wrist rest, which I found very comfortable. But then, and I'm going to do a review of it today, I got this wrist rest, and so I'm going to be using this one from now on because it's even more comfortable and provides better support. This does also have rubber feet on the bottom. There are 8 of those. I used this for casual gaming as well as all the other things I do on the computer, and I found it was quite nice to use, quite good quality. And I'm not really surprised. E-Yooso irritates me a lot because they do those keyboards for gaming with the key characters facing toward the front instead of facing up, and that always gets on my nerves. Plus, they don't put the special functions on the keys, which gets on my nerves even more because that's just bad user experience. But this one doesn't have that problem for the most part. There, if you're looking for a serviceable keyboard that not really designed for gaming, but is a good keyboard overall, I can say I recommend this. Although I'd say if you you might want to try the mouse first, but I'm not. I wouldn't keep it myself. I would get rid of it or something. You can get your own dongle, and you can make it match with your keyboard. And it depends on which brand. Like I think this brand, it's Escape and Equal, or maybe it's Alt and 4, or Function or in 4. One of the things I don't like is the function key is over here instead of over here where it belongs. But otherwise, very decent keyboard. That's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. If you would like to help me and get something out of it by helping me on a one-time basis, you can go to my eBay channel, the PC Expert Amateur, where you can purchase the items that I have on sale there. There are lots of keyboards and mouses and some other items as well. I've got cable organizers with power supplies and a bunch of other stuff, a nice variety of things that I have reviewed in the past and I no longer need, and I need to make space. Plus, I also need the money. So if you want to do that, the information's on the screen.
I need to ask for your help. Things have been challenging. Whose life hasn't been challenging lately? So if you can please help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and turning on notifications, that would be really, really super. Also, if you'd like to help me financially and you can't afford to, you can do a super thanks on my Glenn's Fast Reviews channel, or you can become a member there. Or if you prefer, you can go to patreon.com/GLENNMII and become a member there instead. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Bleeping Computer for their support of my channel. If you need resources for computers, for getting rid of malware and learning about cybersecurity and stuff, Bleeping Computer, BLEEPING computer.com is a great resource. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.